There's much to see and admire in George Harding's Bristol studio. A range of work in oils, portraits and abstract paintings. More recently though, it's begun to rub shoulders with subjects painted in another way entirely. The plein air style, a form of impressionism popularised in the 19th century. As the French term implies, plein air takes the artist out of the studio and into the open air to find inspiration for their work. Quick and vivid impressions are taken directly from nature and the landscape around them, with the artist completing the painting in just one session.
I paint in oils. I'm doing plein air at the moment and looking to nature for inspiration and purpose, and just enjoying the colours that I see and the different environments that I encounter. Being away from the stresses and strains of normal life is really amazing. Because you're enjoying yourself, the paintings have that energy as well. They're not sort of strained, they're just quick sketches, and they are about enjoyment and pleasure, and they certainly do that for me.
The inspiring landscape in this case is rural South Wales, as seen on a campervan tour. There is so much to stimulate any artist. The dramatic mountains, rugged gorges, magnificent beaches, and the windswept moorland of the Brecon, the Gower Peninsula and beyond. It helps a lot if your paints and easel are portable for plein air. There may be strenuous walks involved in the search for natural features. Waterfalls create a rare challenge and sense of excitement for the artist. Where better than here, on the Carreg River at Blaen-y-Glyn, famed for its beauty and tumbling water.
What appealed to me is the waterfall on the right and the waterfall on the left, and how that frames the scene, and the tree to the right of the waterfall and the tree to the left of the waterfall creates a really nice composition. Seeing the water coming down with motion will be hard, and creating the reflection of the water and the reflection of the light. It's quite an abstract painting. It's more sort of primitive and immediate.
A highly complex scene then, with multiple features, shafts of light and textures. The plein air technique forces the artist into a process of simplification, in which they select the aspects of the scene they find most striking and interesting. They then work on their general impressions with loose and light brushwork.
I quite like the angles that the trees are making within the piece. I also like the ripples of the water, but how the marks are representative, but there's emotion in there, and I'm quite pleased with that.
Some more exploration of the river led George onto a very grand and eye-catching spectacle. Here, an infant river and other streams join together as they spill off from the Brecon beacons.
I think what makes it successful is I painted the whole background black and then built up on top of it. So it's very layered and it's very gestural as well. The foliage of the scene and the sort of dense undergrowth is created using quite bold marks. It's not overworked, it's just a quick sketch. It could be on a tropical island, but it's in Wales.
Plein brings another kind of freedom from the studio. There's the chance for George to wander, stop and start at will. He's guided by mood and inclination, the quality of the light, the contours of the land and the shape of the natural features. There might be the occasional delay, but here, sheep can unashamedly demand right of way.
I really enjoy painting and I really enjoy travel. You feel free when you're out on the road and you can just stop in at places, quickly experience them and get a feel for their energy.
Llangorse Lake and the peaks of the Brecon beacons form another impressive landmark. The lake sits against a dramatic background, with the mountain of Peninsula looming large over the water. Rather than a view from the summit, George has decided instead to paint from a distance. He makes the quick decisions that plein air painting forces on the artist, framing the design of the most interesting shapes, calculating the density and arrangement of colours, assessing the prominent areas of light and dark, then mixing the oil paints, sketching the scene in outline, and working in stages towards a bold and finished painting of the scene as George perceives it.
Peninsula is very distinct, but it also blends into the rest of the landscape nicely. And I think the purple and green go really well. I just think it's one of those paintings that work. The sky as well with these lines, I think, look nice.
It's difficult to leave Wales without taking in a castle, preferably a romantic ruin or an impressive fortress. Carreg, Cennen Castell dates from the 13th century and sits in a wild setting on a limestone crag. It presents a challenging blend of windswept landscape and military architecture.
It's a central composition with the castle in the middle, but you're looking all around the composition. Just because a castle's central, your eye does go to that, but it also is aware of all the lines and fields around. I like how it's over these 3 bits of land, and I'm pleased with how I've done the sky with the sort of misty cloud and the far landscape of the hills in the background. But I'm also really pleased with the foreground, like this bit here and these 3 tones. It sort of leads you into the painting, and this line here sort of takes you towards the castle.
Back in his Bristol studio, there's time for reflection and the important varnishing process.
It makes the colour deeper and it makes it as though it's wet again. So it makes the light more vibrant, and the painting sings.
It revives colours, gives time to judge the 24 paintings and the success of the trip in general.
It was good applying myself to the discipline of painting from nature, and it was really good looking to nature for inspiration and finding my own style. It doesn't have any sort of conceptual weight, so you can remove yourself from that and just enjoy it for its own sake. It's just a personal experience that is fun, so it's very freeing in that respect.